everybody. The story of young David that we find in the Old Testament book of 1 Samuel is intriguing. A youngster, a gormless youngster, minding his own business, obedient to his dad, looking after his father Jesse's flocks out in the veldt, being shaped by what he experienced out there for a role that he didn't know at that point that he was going to assume. You remember how King Saul was a huge disappointment, and God decided that Saul, this king, needed to be replaced. He says to Samuel, Samuel, I want you to go to Bethlehem because there's a guy there called Jesse. He has some sons and they're all impressive young men. Now I want you there to go there and to anoint one of those sons as the future king of Israel. Samuel goes to Bethlehem. The residents of Bethlehem see him coming and they thought, oh, hier kom moeilikheid, because Samuel was a very important and influential person. So they, what have you come here to do? He said, I've come to consecrate you. So he gathered all the people, among them Jesse and his sons, all his sons except David. David was out in the field. He was a shepherd. That was his job. And then God says to Samuel, look at that family over there. That's Jesse. Now, I want you to look at these guys and I will lead you to the right person. The first guy to step forward, you remember, was Eliab. And he was impressive. Good-looking lad, broad shoulders. And Samuel, as he looks at Eliab, says to himself, gosh, this must surely be the future king of Israel. But God says no. And then God says something really important and interesting to Samuel about the criteria that he was going to be using to select the future king of Israel. He says this to Samuel, Samuel, God looks on the heart, not at the face. Man looks on the outside. God looks on the inside. In other words, God is not impressed necessarily with the outward features. It's what goes on in the heart that really matters to God. And if that is the criteria we're going to apply, then Eliab doesn't hack it. And all the other brothers are brought forward, and God says to Samuel, no, sorry. Eventually, there are no brothers standing there. And Samuel turns to Jesse and he says, well, have you got any other boys? And Jesse probably rolls his eyes. He says, well, you know, we got this youngster out in the veldt. He is, according to the Message version, he is the runt. And Samuel says, bring him to me. And so this youngster is brought. Young, innocent, probably at that stage, not looking in any way like a future king. And as David steps before Samuel, God says, that's my boy. And God anoints young David. And we are told that the Spirit of God came upon David like a mighty rushing wind, and the Spirit never left him. All right? Man looks at the outside. God looks on the inside. Let's take care of our hearts. And let's not judge people on externals. Discern a deeper dimension in people's lives, because that is what matters to God. A life lived from within, expressing love and commitment and service to God. May that be true, friends, of you today. God bless you.